Tessa's POV. The private jet cruised through the skies as I tried my best to get lost in the book in which I had thankfully packed with me to help pass the time. As the craft carried me and Kane towards my unknown destination nestled somewhere deep in the south, Kane remained seemingly unaffected by the altitude, but continued to hold my hand, offering a comforting presence as he decided to watch some movie on the screen in front of him, which consisted of men killing and shooting each other. Typical. As the plane soared through the sky, I couldn't help but occasionally marvel at the breathtaking view of the peaceful clouds and pale blue sky from around me. Lush landscapes unfolded like a living tapestry below, revealing mountains, green forests, and blue rivers as the jet began to gradually drop us lower and lower, preparing to land soon. This was all a stark contrast to the controlled environment back at the compound that I was used to being trapped in, with each site teasing me with the opportunity to explore the world since I had pretty much seen none of it yet. In the past 2 days with him, I had seen more places than I had done my entire life. Kane, observing my wide-eyed wonder, broke the silence. You'll get used to it. Flying becomes second nature after a while. His voice held a hint of reassurance, and I couldn't help but appreciate the softer side of him whenever it showed. As the plane gradually descended, revealing what looked to be a wide stretch of homes glistening beneath the bright sun hanging above, my eyes widened at the thought of how many wolves and humans actually lived down here. And I don't blame them too if it is, indeed, warmer. Everything that you see below is our territory, he explains proudly, as my eyes widen. All of it? This pack must be huge. Before I knew it, we prepared for landing, and I released a breath realizing that I had actually survived my very first flight. The jet didn't take long before we too shed down on a private airstrip nestled amongst a bright forest. I watched as Kane's 2 male friends walked past us both towards the exit, one glancing at us briefly and the other throwing us a cheeky wink which completely caught me off guard. By now, Kane had of course released my hand, returning back to his usual stern self, before he helped me to repack my backpack with my book. Exiting the plane, a rush of warm air filled my lungs as I couldn't quite believe the temperature difference here already despite having been told prior that it was warmer. I just didn't expect this sort of warm. Awaiting our arrival at the bottom of the steps was 4 large black SUV vehicles, with a handful of proud male wolves boldly stood outside of them looking official. We approached, seeing one of them step forward to greet us. Welcome home, Al. Yes, that will be all. I almost gasped at Kane's dismissive reaction, cutting the man off from speaking when he was only trying to be nice. With that, the wolf nods, stepping aside and opening the vehicle doors for us both. Kane guided me into the car, the anticipation in the air palpable as I squirmed slightly, wondering where we would be headed next. To my surprise, my green-eyed wolf followed me into the back seat this time to sit by me, allowing for one of the other men to drive, perhaps because he's too tired from the flight. The vehicle navigated along many winding paths through the extensive forest, before we began to gradually enter into a large town filled with beautiful homes, all well polished and of decent sizes. I was mesmerized to see how clean everything looked here, deciding that the sun probably helped with some of it since it must be hard to keep a town clean when you have a storm hitting it every month or so. I remained silent, doing my best people watching, as Kane conversed with the man driving about boring stuff concerning their pack. From what I could see, everything and everyone looked pretty normal and calm around here. The females smiled and went about their day, visiting in and out of shops and cafes, and the men looked typically stern, some however laughing and joking around together. I also noticed what looked to be a small school filled with playing children, which caused me to smile. I guess this new law set in place by the wolves must be working, considering they have been worried about saving their species. A sense of awe washed over me as I took in the sight of the pack's day-to-day life happening around us, a place that would soon become my home for the next 2 weeks. I wonder where Kane's home is. We drove on for a while longer, with the large town seeming to be never ending, before the SUV began to ascend its way up a hill. I shy away from the window this time, deciding once and for all that I must not be a great fan of heights despite the protective barrier put in place to prevent anyone from accidentally falling off. It didn't help to calm my racing heart. Luckily, it didn't take us long before we were away from the edge, reaching what looked to be a mini housing estate protected by massive gold gates. What is this place? The car slowed, as I straightened up a little, knowing that we would no doubt be checked by the guards up ahead. I assumed that measures like these were typically put in place for the alpha's protection and privacy along with the higher-ranked wolves, which Kane seemed to be. The guard on the outside approached the tinted windows, as Kane wasted no time on opening his to show his face, being no doubt familiar with them by now. The guard glances at him, offering him a curt smile before turning to give a thumbs up to whoever was manning the gates. With that, we proceeded on through, driving through a street with the largest houses that I had ever seen. This place is magnificent. I breathe aloud, as Kane chuckles slightly and shakes his head. You didn't stutter that time either, he commends, seeming pleased, as my cheeks begin to blush when realizing that the man driving could also hear my statement. I continue to gawk at the grand homes as we pass by each one, even spotting some females who are out on the lawn, tending to a variety of their colorful flower beds wearing their summer dresses. This is seriously the life. We soon make it through the gated estate, before turning on to a white pebbled drive, taking us up another short hill, before my eyes almost fall out of their sockets at what we find situated at the very top. It was like a damn castle, but more modern. The grandest of grand homes to probably ever exist. Even if I would have dared to dream up such a home, I wouldn't have came anywhere close to thinking up this. This must be for the Alpha and his most trusted higher-ranked wolves. Another set of gold gates lie up ahead which this time, instantly open up for us on approach, before we drive up towards the large central white fountain as it flows with water and glitters under the sun. Driving around it, we reach what I'm guessing is the main doors to the home, as I almost sob when the driver pulls the car to a complete stop out front. No. This cannot be where I am expected to live for the next 2 weeks, someone like me? There is just no way. We climb out, as I glance down at my comfy attire, suddenly embarrassed to be wearing such an outfit in a place as breathtaking as this. I feel Kane push lightly on the small of my back, instructing for me to move forward as he proceeds to escort me inside as I hold nothing but my tattered backpack. The interior was a fusion of warmth and sophistication, with even the rich scent of cinnamon and spice flooding into my nostrils and almost causing me to swoon, a similar scent to Kane's natural aura which explains it. I slow in my steps, fearing that I would miss taking some of the details in, as I glance up at the high chandelier-clad ceilings, complementing the white and tan homey colors decorating the place. If left unattended, I would for sure get lost in a place like this. The scent of wood and a crackling fireplace greeted us as we made a swift left turn into a cozier room filled with large leather sofas coated with fur throws and pillows, facing the largest flat-screen TV to ever exist. Take a seat, I'll get you a drink, he insists, as I allow myself to melt down onto the plush sofa, biting back a moan at just how truly comfy it was. Kane disappears for a moment, as I glance around at the space, unable to comprehend how anyone could live here day to day. Here. I turned to find him walk back in again, handing me a glass of what looked like orange juice as I took it from him with a small thank you. This can't be his home, can it? Is it always this quiet? I mumble, drinking another sip as he falls down onto a seat of his own, arms and legs open to show his comfort. Nah. Most of the staff have the day off today, they are usually here Monday to Friday, he states, as my eyes widen, followed by a nod. So, who exactly lives here? Is this your home too? I question, wondering if maybe we were just here to greet the Alpha before actually heading to where he lives, which would no doubt be one of the other expensive homes we had passed on the drive here, I'd bet. Kane glances me over for a moment, the clock seeming to turn in his mind as he pauses before responding. The Alpha lives here along with his top 2 commanders, and the rest of the higher ranks live in the homes that we just passed, he states, as I nod slowly. So yes, this is where I live permanently. What do you think so far? He asks, confirming that he himself was one of the Alpha's top 2, lucky enough to be trusted to live under the same roof as him in such a luxurious home. The Alpha was no doubt an older man, going off of the others I had seen in passing in the past, so the fact that Kane had made it to this level at his age was remarkable on its own. It's a beautiful home, but will the Alpha mind me being here? My brows furrow, not wanting to find myself on the wrong side of an Alpha, that was for damn sure. They were the worst in terms of temperament and patience, a single wrong breath being enough to make them snap. He knows you're here. He's fine, Kane all but states, before noise is heard coming from down the hall, making me straighten up from my comfortable spot with alarm. I wait a moment, before the 2 familiar faces from the jet poke their heads in the door, spotting us both before taking it upon themselves to join us in the room. Our main man, Kane. All grown up. My name's Seth, it's a pleasure to meet you, darling. The young man who I remember as being the one to have winked at us earlier approaches me with an outstretched hand as I instantly place mine in his to shake it gently. Pack Beta if you want my official title. I'm also very much single if you ever get fed up of this old dog over here. He proceeds to joke, showcasing that him and Kane must be somewhat close for him to say such things without them fighting. I giggle a little, glancing at my green-eyed male who currently pierced daggers into his friend who just so happened to be the pack beta too. The beta was the second highest rank in any pack, meaning that this man right here must be exceptionally powerful and skilled in many ways to land such an honorable role, yet he didn't actually seem too scary or old either, but I bet he could switch up at any given moment. My name's Anthony, third in command and the top pack trainer here, and yours is? The other moves to shake my hand next, seeming a little more intense compared to Seth. And nice to meet you both. I'm Tessa. I stammer, shaking the other's hand, as they both nod and move away from me to create some space after our short greeting. Have the trains arrived in yet? Kane takes charge next by asking the other two, as I wonder what his proper title is now that I know one of these men is beta and the other is third in command. Yet it seems to me that Kane takes charge in a lot of scenarios thus far between them. Sure have. The last one arrived 20 minutes ago and the other two should all be home and settled by now. Seth informs, moving towards the fireplace and leaning against it with his hand. What's your friend's name again? My eyes widen a little when realizing that he was talking directly to me, as I lick my lips and speak instantly. Aaron. I state firmly, the sheer hope and excitement taking over with the slightest chance that I would get to see her today. Do me a favor, Seth, and have her friend Aaron and whoever her suitor is brought here for dinner tonight? I can't control the audible gasp that passes my lips, gaining all three of the men's attention, which causes my face to flush. Sorry. I got excited. I clasp my hands together on my lap and lower my head, as Seth snorts out a laugh at my words. She's fucking adorable, Kane. Seth continues to laugh loudly, only deepening the color of my cheeks as I sink back into the chair. He seems really easygoing and light-hearted for a pack beta. Well, let's get you up to your room since you'll be here with us for the next 2 weeks then, shall we? Kane suddenly states, pushing himself to stand as I instantly follow his lead, saying a soft goodbye to the other men as we exit and head for the stairs. He's letting me spend dinner with Aaron tonight. This was a total dream come true already. I hope she's doing okay. Tessa's POV. Kane led me through the expansive corridors of the mansion, each step echoing out in the quiet atmosphere of the grand home. This place is so huge. I comment from behind him, as he walks on ahead, leading me to my assigned room. How he even remembers where to go in here is bayo. And me. I don't care how long he's lived here, it's far too big to know which way to go. As we approached a set of intricately carved double doors, he turned the ornate handle, revealing a room that surpassed all of my expectations. The suite was like stepping into a luxurious dream. A king-sized bed with rich, white bedding and emerald green pillows dominated the center space, surrounded by dark wood furniture and golden accents to give it a more expensive feel. The cream white fur rug lay beneath the bed spot, and overall the room held an air of sophistication, the large balcony doors leading out to reveal a view of the expansive grounds outside that I hadn't yet seen and was eager to check out. Welcome to your temporary living quarters, my room is just down the hall. Kane states, gesturing around the room with a hint of pride laying beneath his stern exterior. I stood there, momentarily speechless, taking in the opulence around me. All of it? Just for me? Are you sure? It's incredible, thank you. I managed to express my gratitude, my eyes still wide with amazement of the place. Kane nodded once, his face not shifting, as he moved towards a door on the side wall. This is your private bathroom. You'll find everything you need in there. If you require anything else, just let me or someone know. He states, as I poke my head inside to stare at the gleaming white marble which screamed spotless. The one next to this is the closet and there's already stuff in there, so just wear whatever you want, it's all new. He clears his throat, checking his watch once before heading back towards the door. I'll leave you to get settled, dinner is in 2 hours, so look presentable. He states bluntly, returning to his typical demeanor, as I nod and thank him, watching him leave without another word. As he left, I took a moment to fully explore the room on my own. The bathroom was as lavish as the bedroom, with even a bathtub, which we didn't have. Back home in our tiny room, only a shower. I then rushed over towards the balcony, taking a moment to figure out how to open the doors themselves before finding success, leading me outside into the heat to overlook the massive gardens below. The home was completely secluded with trees, despite knowing that more homes sat just down the little hill from here. My eyes scanned over the masses of planted flowers, adding pops of color to the place to bring an even more summery feel to help accompany the glowing sun. To top things off, my eyes found the large swimming pool paired with other things such as an outdoor barbecue, fire pit, manhut, jacuzzi, alcohol bar and other fun-looking activities, with too many to count from up here. This would probably be the ideal place to raise a family, but maybe I'm just getting ahead of myself. I have to remember not to get my hopes up since this is just a trial period after all. Feeling a bit overwhelmed, I decided to head back inside to check out the closet, deciding to find something nice to wear for dinner later. I opened the door, as my jaw drops at just how big the inside of the closet actually was. I was expecting to face a wall with a few hanging racks, but this was a whole damn room, and a big one at that. I step in cautiously, not sure on how to act with this expanding closet, before my eyes land on a small makeup and hair station against the far wall beneath a window, my smile widening at the sight. This room seriously does have everything I'd need. I run my hands along the many options of clothes ranging from comfy to lavish, most still with their store tags on too. I decide to grab a short fuchsia skirt and pair it with a cream off-the-shoulder crop top decorated with white pearls, deciding that Erin and her love for fashion would probably appreciate the effort. The outfit was of course still dependent on how my bruised legs now looked, since they would have either gone one of two ways. Either they were starting to fade or they've only gotten darker. Erin would totally go wild in here though, and I just hope that she has things just as good as I do so far. I couldn't even comprehend my luck after how my day had started out yesterday. It was a true miracle. But how was it only yesterday morning that we were preparing for Judgment Day, and now I was here, having flown halfway across the country to live for 2 weeks with my green-eyed wolf whose emotions were unpredictable yet exciting all the same. I decide to freshen up, and a long, hot bath seemed like the perfect way to relax after the past 2 days' events. I head inside the bathroom, ensuring that I have everything I need for afterwards, before turning the taps and adding some bath soaps to the water, leaving the room smelling divine. I hope that Kane doesn't mind me taking a bath, but he did say help myself, right? It's only water I need to relax. I stripped out of my clothes, relieved to see that my bruises had gotten a little lighter despite them still being very noticeable, but I'll just have to accept them for what they are. Why should they ruin a good outfit? My legs will be hidden at dinner anyhow. I stepped into the tub once it had filled enough, moaning out as the warm water enveloped me, washing away any residual tension from the journey. Oh, how I wished we had a bathtub back at the campus. The only times I had ever gone for a bath was back at my mom's place once in a while, but it was nothing quite like this. I decided to wash my hair, my eyes dancing across the many baskets hanging against the wall containing a variety of, what I'm guessing, is expensive hair treatments and soaps. I'd be a fool not to use these whilst I can. A long scrub later followed by a quick shave, having found a fresh razor, and I was left feeling relaxed, smooth, and overall, incredible. Once I stepped out and drained the tub, I used some lotions to soften up my dry skin before I changed into a comfortable pair of pajamas provided by the closet, saving my dinner outfit for after hair and makeup. After dressing in the comfortable pajamas, I took a moment to appreciate the softness of the fabric against my skin. The closet was truly a treasure trove, offering me not only a range of stylish outfits but also cozy loungewear too. With a glance at the clock, I realized that I still had some time before dinner, and so I grabbed a silk robe, tied it around me, and headed back out to explore more of the extravagant views from the balcony, with the silky fabric hugging my skin. The golden hues of the setting sun painted the sky, casting a warm glow over the landscape as I sighed in content. I didn't want to get too excited, but so far, it seems that myself and Erin are doing pretty okay by landing a spot here at this pack. In my mystical trance, I am suddenly startled by a thunderous knock sounding down on the bedroom door, causing me to turn and rush back inside in an instant. I guess it's probably Kane, and that this is just his usual way of knocking on doors, before I unlock the door for him, having locked it previously before my bath, to allow him in. What the fuck do you think you're doing? He roars, as I tense and back away from him in an instant. Oh, he's pissed. What's going on? Answer me. He thunders, as I tremble before him, confused and full of regret for whatever mistake I didn't yet know that I had made. Did I miss something? Break something? What is he so pissed about? Was I not supposed to use the bath after all? What did I do? I stumble over my words, sharing my confusion as he rushes towards me, enclosing my small wrist in his firm grip as he lifts it up, using it to pull me closer to him. You should never stand out there in nothing but a thin fucking robe. Do you know how many males I have walking around here on a daily basis? It is the sheer height of disrespect. He booms, his grip growing tighter and tighter as I wince in his hold. Oh crap. He thinks I have pajamas on underneath, SC. I plead my case, pulling the robe aside with my free hand to show the pajama short set hidden underneath the silky robe fabric. His eyes are darker than his usual shade of green as they dart down to bear witness to my covered body, almost as if he didn't quite believe me. Could have fooled me. You looked naked under that from where I saw, he sneers, as I gulp and nod in understanding, unsure of when he had even seen me standing out there. At this rate he might just lose his shit completely and wind up killing me in a rage. I've heard stories about that happening to females before. I just wanted to watch the sunset. I explain myself, completely caught off guard by his outburst despite being previously taught that the male wolves are possessive and angry creatures, feeling each upsetting emotion in 10 folds, which causes them to often lash out and snap. Please, you'll break it if you tighten any harder. I beg, taking note of the searing pain projecting from my trapped wrist, as he throws it a brief glance. Maybe I should break it, and that way you'll know not to disrespect me ever again, eh? His voice speaks back with threat, however his grip itself loosens ever so slightly to offer me some relief all the same. I won't do it again. I didn't think of it like that. I'm sorry that you're upset. I confirm as his eyes search my own, his face only inches from mine now. I hadn't ever seen a male shift into their wolf form before, and prayed that now wouldn't be the first time for me. Please don't get too angry. After an intense moment, he finally breaks contact, stepping back as he begins to pace back and forth, and I clutch my aching wrist to my chest, catching my breath. If a male wolf seen you out there like that, they may think that you are naked underneath and want to tease them. You are here only back. As I wanted you here, so you will do as I say, that was the agreement. He snaps, beginning to rant as I remain quiet to give him the time to get it off his chest. Things were going so well, and it was terrifying alone to see just how quickly their tempers could break, by something so harmless on my part. A dressing gown is something for the bedroom only, as are pajamas and underwear, he states, deciding on his rules as I all but continue to nod. Whatever he wants, I'll do, since before now, I actually really liked things around here. I'm a jealous man and I do not like to share. Do I make myself clear here, Tess? He turns to me, eyes burning through mine as I hear the foreign nickname for the very first time. Tess. Why yes. I'm sorry. I confirm my apology, watching his eyes close over and him inhale a steady breath. Moments later he opens them again, showcasing his usual bright shade of green, which somehow brings some peace of mind back into the room. Show me your wrist. He suddenly states, approaching me as I tense but hold it out for him nonetheless. He inspects it, moving it around and whatnot to see if it was broke or damaged. It was slightly achy, but nothing major, as he eventually drops it, seeming satisfied by my lack of response. This could have been much worse. I'm not the best at controlling my temper, and if you are to live with me, then you'll just have to accept that I am an aggressive man, but that doesn't mean to say that I also won't keep you safe for as long as you are here. Is that fair enough for you? He speaks, his words a warning. As twisted as it sounds, I actually felt that we were building somewhat of a mutual understanding, and perhaps with time I would be more confident at navigating through his tempers. If he keeps me around long enough, that is? Yes. I breathe, feeling the tension build slightly from his close proximity. Get ready for dinner, I'll be back for you soon. Kane concludes. And with that, he turns and leaves me standing here, both breathless and stunned. What the heck just happened? Tessa's POV. The hard knock on the door signaled Kane's arrival before he let himself into my room, considering that I had been too scared to lock him out again after his earlier outburst. As he stepped in, his gaze swept over me, and for a fleeting moment, I caught a subtle hint of approval in his eyes as he gave me nothing but a single nod of approval. Help me please? I asked gently, holding out the dainty gold necklace in which I had found hanging up on the makeup stand, deciding to borrow it for just tonight. With that, the large male approaches me, taking such a delicate piece out of my hands and into his much larger and rougher ones, before I turn for him to place it around my neck, hoping that he doesn't snap the metal in the process. He does so, taking a few moments to clasp it successfully, cursing under his breath a couple of times in the process as I bite back a giggle, not wanting to upset him. Ready for dinner? He asks, his tone slightly softer than usual, probably covering up for his previous tantrum. At least he tries, or so it seems he does anyway. I nod, a small smile tugging at the corners of my lips as we move towards the hallway. The tension between us had shifted, if only slightly, leaving behind a curious blend of nerves and slight understanding for one another. He was a dangerous creature, yet I was well aware that I could have landed myself with a male far worse than him, and so, I appreciated my spot here thus far, as besides an achy wrist, I have enjoyed my time with him. He gestured towards his arm as a silent invitation, and I willingly accepted, hooking my hand through it to walk with him by his side. The contact alone sent a shiver down my spine, not from fear but from the unexpected warmth that radiated from his simple touch. Together, we descended the grand staircase, each step echoing in the opulent hallway as he led the way in a comfortable silence, his features set in stone. We made our way to the dining room, which began to unfold before my very eyes. The expansive room was home to a long wood table, decorated with great care and sophistication. The chandeliers glittered above, casting a gentle glow over the expansive table adorned with fine china and crystal glasses. The room buzzed with new faces of waiting staff with orchestrated movements as they rushed around and seemed to make preparations for tonight's meal. Kane guided me to the head of the table, a position of prominence. As he took his seat, I settled down comfortably in the one beside him, my eyes wide with awe at the grandeur surrounding us as I ran my hand along the soft white tablecloth, drinking it all in. The air was charged with a sense of anticipation, and I couldn't wait for Aaron's arrival, which had been the best gesture in which Kane had made towards me as of yet. He didn't know how much I appreciated the invite for Aaron, and so with that, I thought that I should probably tell him. Kane. I sparked the conversation whilst it is just us both in the room, gaining his attention as he cocks a brow at me curiously. Yes, that is my name, little human. What is it that you want now? He mocks sarcastically, as I chew my lip anxiously. Geez, all I have to do is say thank you. Why am I embarrassed? You need to quit doing that. He suddenly groans gruffly, as my brows furrow together in confusion. Sorry, doing what? I ask, as he shakes his head, his eyes trailing down to my mouth. Biting that damn lip of yours, you're killing me with that. He states bluntly, as I instantly release it from my teeth, not knowing that it irritated him until now. I'm not doing so great at keeping on his good side today, am I? Well, I just wanted to say that. I'm really happy that you invited Aaron tonight, so thank you. I confirm my words with a nod, as he watches me carefully as I speak. You almost didn't stutter that time, you're getting better with that. He speaks his thoughts, often picking up on my nervous stutter whenever it comes through. I wonder why he's so invested in my stutter. Maybe it annoys him and he's hoping to get past it if he plans on keeping me around? Yeah, sure. If bringing your friend here keeps you happy and keeps you following my rules, then so be it, because just remember, as quick as I can bring her here, I can get rid of her all the same. His words completely catch me off guard, as my mouth falls open and my eyes grow wide. A moment passes, leaving me speechless, before he sniggers to himself, shaking his head and throwing it back with an amused grin. Your face was a picture there. He laughs, as my trembling hands seem to ease when realizing that the statement was only intended to be light-hearted. At least I hoped it was. Our little moment was cut short at the arrival of Seth, the pack beta who I had met earlier. Seth was the first to join us, taking the seat opposite me and beside Kane, his cheeky smile persisting from before. His infectious energy added a lively touch to the room, and I exchanged a small smile with him as he greeted us both, pulling in his chair to get more comfortable. Anthony followed suit moments later, entering with a quiet confidence as he studied the room before occupying the seat beside Seth, thankfully avoiding the one next to me which I had silently hoped to reserve for Aaron. The longer in which we waited for Aaron's arrival, the more anxious I became. Surely she will show up. If Kane sent for them himself? It would be rude not to. During the wait, Kane signaled the private waiter over, and soon, a private-made drinks menu appeared before me as I thanked the man, taking it from him softly. The options were diverse and enticing, making my choice a delightful challenge as most of them on here included ALC. Oh Hall, go for it, try another cocktail. He states, offering the substance to me once again since I had only had my first sip of alcohol the previous night. Seth suggests trying something called a zombie, to which I agree, not wanting to be rude and say no. I was open to trying anything, as long as it was fruity. The minutes stretched on, with each second filled with growing excitement before finally, Erin entered the room, her presence bringing a burst of new energy to my soul. I couldn't help but grin widely and straighten up at the sight of my best friend, her eyes sparkling as they find mine. She's really here, and alive, we both are, we did it. However, a sudden pang of concern shot through me as I noticed the stranger accompanying her as the large male steps in from behind her, casting a shadowy tower from above her. I watched her visibly gulp, her small frame becoming slightly smaller from beneath him as I squinted at the sight of them both. This doesn't feel right. Welcome, Leo. Glad you could join us. Kane speaks loudly, naming the male for the first time, who seemed to be around the age of 30 if I had to guess. He wasn't what I expected, with his mean demeanor and shaven head. I sort of expected someone more similar to Cain, but this male looked somewhat, dare I say, evil. Your invite is always appreciated for a dinner up here. The man Leo chuckles, his voice gruff as he forces a smile towards Cain. Please sit. Cain encourages, before asking the waiter to come back to take their drinks. Whilst Cain is distracted, I watch on as Erin attempts to navigate her way around the table to sit beside me, before her path is abruptly redirected by the imposing figure of the unfamiliar male, Leo. His arm roughly stopped her, before guiding her to sit down in another seat towards the end of the table, and a sudden wave of confusion and sadness flashed across Erin's eyes as she shot me a quick pleading glance. This is not good. My heart sank as I realized something was amiss, and I exchanged a worried look with Erin. The atmosphere, once charged with excitement, now held an undercurrent of tension, leaving me yearning for an explanation and dreading the uncertainties that lay ahead. Cain turns his attention back to the table, as I turn to him, my eyes searching his for him to do something, anything. He watches me cautiously, before shifting his gaze. Why are you both so far away? Cain asks loudly, as Leo's eyes widen a little at being called out. Oh. I figured that we were still waiting for more guests. Thought I'd break up the space a bit, you know? Leo plays it off well, chuckling as I noticeably see Erin tense at the sound of his laughter. What has he done to her? She's never this shy. Guess we better move up then. On you go, sit beside your friend. Leo stands, pulling Erin up with him by her bicep before shoving her in the direction of me as she instantly collapses down into the chair beside me. Her eyes water a little, but I shake my head to signal for her to hold it back. I look up, seeing that the men were in their own conversation, all except Seth, who seemed to notice the current situation from opposite us. This attention to detail explained why Seth was the beta. He's clearly observant, yet he only watches, remaining silent. I take it upon myself to hug Erin, giving her a squeeze which she instantly returns before hearing her whisper in my ear, "Help me." 2 words which instantly crush my soul. My eyes widen as she pulls back and forces a smile, trying to play off the hug as being normal. A drink for the lady? Cain poses, staring at Leo as I turn to see him scoff at the idea. A water and a whiskey for myself. Leo waves to the waiter to leave, as my heart sinks at the difference in dynamics. Now I felt incredibly guilty for ordering a delicious fruity cocktail, when Leo won't even let Erin pick her own drink. What is his problem? My mind races to think of a plan, a way in which we can both spend some time together to allow me to get to the bottom of what was going on between them. The bathroom maybe? But it will look suspicious if we go together, won't it? So who do we have here, Leo? Never seen you attend any judgment days until this year, you know? Seth speaks out, as Erin clutches my hand in hers from underneath the table in a silent plea for help. Yeah, I figured it's the year to start breeding, if you know what I'm saying. Leo laughs loudly, as Seth forces a laugh in response, or at least I hope it's forced. What a horrible way to refer to the soon-to-be possible mother of your children. Breeding? Was this male actually real? I knew that some of them could be incredibly cruel, but I had never actually witnessed it firsthand. And just what is your name then, human? Seth asks her directly now, as Erin gulps once, glancing to Leo before she speaks. Erin, sir. She confirms quietly, her voice shaky and different to her usual excited self. Nice to meet you, Erin. Welcome to our pack. Seth reaches out to shake her hand, as she drops mine from beneath the table and shakes it to be polite, each of her movements seeming more cautious than necessary. Erin's discomfort hung in the air as Seth continued with his small talk, trying to ease the tension that Leo had brought to the table. Despite Seth's efforts, the atmosphere remained heavy, and I couldn't shake the feeling that something dark lurked beneath the surface here. As the waiter returned with their drinks, Leo took a sip of his whiskey, eyeing Erin closely. I observed the subtle signals between them, the way Erin tensed when Leo's hand brushed against hers, accidentally only confirming that something was definitely wrong. Cain, sitting at the head of the table, seemed to pick up on the unease but remained silent and emotionless, which saddened me a little as I longed for him to step in and help my friend. Dinner quickly arrived, an array of exquisitely prepared dishes, yet the conversation around the table felt forced. Erin picked at her food, her appetite clearly affected by the uncomfortable situation as I exchanged glances with her, trying to convey my silent support as often as I could. Don't be fucking rude and eat it. Leo leans towards her, sneering in her ear, before Erin nods and begins to shovel forkfuls into her mouth, shocking me completely. As we finished up, Erin excused herself for the restroom, and I seized the opportunity to attempt to follow her. I should probably go too. I force a giggle, as Kane's eyes burn through mine knowingly. I hope my sneaking around doesn't piss him off too much, but I must talk to my friend before she leaves. The kind waitress guides the way, as we remain silent on the walk, thanking her as soon as we get there. Once inside, Erin looked at me with pleading eyes, her full face falling. "Tessa, he's awful," she cries, as I hush her and allow for her to fall into my arms. My concern deepened as I listened to Erin's words. "I'm going to be trapped with him forever. There's nothing we can do." Erin whines, her tone alone being enough to make my eyes water for her. "We can't stay in here long either. I'll do everything I can to help you, I promise." "Where do you live?" "I'll try and see you as often as I can. We will fix this," I state firmly, usually not being the one to pick us up, however understand that right now I need to. We pull apart, as Erin grabs a tissue and dabs her face to ensure that she looks untouched. "I'm only down the hill from here, not far," she sighs, as I nod and grab a shoulder in comfort. "I don't even want to go back there with him tonight. He's sleazy and awful. He was a different man on our date last night, Tessa, and before I knew it, he forced me on the train and said we were leaving. I was terrified. You should see my room. 2. It's a damn mattress on the floor." Erin rushes the information at me, as I shake my head in utmost disgust. Why was he being so cruel to her? She hasn't done anything to him. It makes me so mad to see her this way. But there's nothing I can do, at least not yet. We better go back. Erin panics a little, grabbing my hand and leading us back outside and down the hallway towards the dining room once again. Returning to the dining room, we resumed our seats, the tension escalating with every passing moment as Leo eyes us both warily. "Well, we best get going now since it's been a long day. Thanks for the great dinner. We will hopefully be back another night to see you again, Alpha." Leo stands, catching me off guard with the last word, before I watch him reach across the table, shaking Kane's hand in his as my breathing hitches in the back of my throat at the sight. "Wait. Alpha?" Tessa's POV. I continue to pace back and forth, the whole dinner experience replaying over and over again in my mind like a damn nightmare. First, I discover how truly unhappy my best friend is with her match, and rightfully so, since the male was nothing but rude, horrible, and arrogant to her the whole time. Then, to top off the whole night, Leo thanks Kane for the dinner and suddenly drops the bomb on me out of nowhere. I almost collapsed when I heard the word alpha, let alone seeing him shake Kane's hand of all people sitting at the table. Why didn't he just tell me who he was at the beginning instead of being all cryptic about it? Now I look like a total ass. I was taught that you never ever call an alpha anything other than alpha or sir, yet here I was, having been calling him Kane for over a whole day at this point, the sheer height of disrespect. To think that this whole time, I've just been hanging around casually with a damn cold-blooded alpha. Those creatures were the wildest of wild, and never in a million years did I ever think that one would choose me on a judgment day, little old me. Now I'm completely stuck halfway across the country in my new temporary room, petrified to even look the male in the eyes, let alone spend some quality time with him for the next 2 weeks. It was all just totally bizarre. Although, it did make sense when I seriously thought about it and pieced each puzzle together. The alpha and his top 2 pack members lived here, so if Seth was the beta and Anthony was the third in command, where did that leave him? How did I not notice it before? The private jet, the suffocating dominance whenever he entered a room, his bossiness, his fierce temper, his arrogance. How did I not know who he was? It was his damn age that threw me off. I've never known them to be so young and so unforgivingly handsome. I was for sure screwed now, with every possible ounce of hope in which I had for living here, now being crushed. I wasn't good enough for an alpha, there was no way. "Tessa?" I scream out loudly in fright, turning to find Kane himself stood by my bedroom door, offering me a questioning look as my heart leaps up into my throat from the intrusion. "Fucking hell, human, will you calm down? Why are you screaming like that? I've been calling your name for what feels like the past 5 minutes. Kane retorts, as I clutch my racing heart and slowly back away from him. I just found out that you're actually an alpha. This is a mistake, sir. I'm not good enough to be your chosen M-mate." I blurt out, my voice shaky as I try to comprehend the revelation that had just hit me like a freight train. Kane's eyes narrow for a moment, and a sly smirk tugs at the corner of his lips. "Well, I wasn't going to tell you so soon to avoid this exact thing from happening, and yet, here we are," he trails off, beginning to explain himself for what it was worth. "But let me just get this right here, Tessa. Are you suggesting that me, the alpha, has made a mistake by bringing you here and by giving you a chance?" he suggests, leaning against the doorframe cockily. "Why yes. I can't live up to your standards. I defend, my skin feeling hot and itchy under his intense stare as I continue to avoid meeting his eye. This cannot be real, all it takes is for one wrong move and he could snap me in half. Oh, my standards are too high, are they? Tell me then, Tess, is taking you to a fancy restaurant, giving you alcohol, bringing you on a private jet, giving you your own suite and inviting your best friend over here for dinner too much to fucking ask of you? His tone swerves, slicing through me as I audibly gasp at just how ridiculous I sounded when he said it like that. I've been nothing but spoiled by him, in more ways than one, yet now I was complaining that I couldn't handle him? I'm a fool. But, why didn't you just tell me? Why you deserve better than the broken little human girl you found in the assembly hall yesterday. I whimper, as a single tear falls from my eye at the overwhelming revelations of tonight. Why in his right mind, being an alpha, would he not settle for the prettier and well-presented females back at my campus? Instead, he chose me, with my hair in knots, makeup smeared, and clothes torn. I still don't properly understand why. I didn't tell you that I was an alpha to try and avoid these fucking ridiculous tears because you're scared. That's why. Get yourself together and accept it. I chose you, you are here and you will do your best to make me fucking happy. He suddenly roars, as my hand flies up to wipe away my wet tears, realizing that I was only aggravating him further. My bedroom door is slammed shut next, leaving me standing alone and anxious in the center of my grand suite. He must think that I'm being a complete brat. I'm just overwhelmed and scared, he's right. Scared of my suitor being the damn alpha and leader of an entire pack and overwhelmed by seeing my friend unhappy at dinner. The room suddenly feels smaller, as I wondered just what I had gotten myself into. I'm not just living with a male werewolf anymore, I'm living with their ruthless leader, their beloved alpha who I must work to never cross. As I try to process it all, the events of the dinner replay in my mind, the way Leo treated Aaron, the strange dynamics at play, and the tension that still lingered beneath the surface. This wasn't about me right now. I have to get my act together and figure out a way to help Aaron. With a deep breath, I decide that I need answers. I can't navigate the complexities of this world blindly. I need Kane on my side, at least for both myself and Aaron's sakes. Determination sets in as I suddenly make the swift decision to follow Kane's fleeting path, heading out of my room, down the hallway in the hunt of his bedroom. Glancing at each door as I pass by them, trying my best to gauge and take a guess at which one belongs to him, my eyes eventually settle on a set of large doors very similar to my own room situated at the end of the hallways. This must be it. Here goes nothing. With that, I knock once, finding no response, which only causes for me to knock a second time, again finding no luck as I grumble a little. My adrenaline was running out, and I knew that if I stood here for too long, I would crumble and scurry back to my room before he could catch me. I can do this. What use would cowering back to my room be when my friend needs my help? I need him to forgive me. I push the handle down forcefully, allowing myself entry into the alpha's cage, my eyes being met with an even bigger room compared to my own, mostly decorated in black, gray and white furniture instead. Kane himself was nowhere to be seen, but this place reeked of his masculine scent to say the least, only confirming that this had to be his room. I take wary steps inside, as my eyes wandered arrow. Drinking it all in. Brave enough to enter the lion's den, I see? Came to apologize for your bratty fucking behavior, I hope? I turn on my heels, catching a glimpse of Kane stood by his bathroom door with nothing on but a towel hung loosely around his hips. His tan skin remained wet and covered in water droplets, with his dark hair now black too from the moisture. His tattoos were now, for the first time ever, on full display, each one dancing across his skin and covering his arms, neck, back and torso completely like an intricate painting. I didn't realize there were so many hidden under his shirt. Sorry. I did knock. I defend my actions, hearing him scoff at my statement. Sure. I'm starting to think that you just wanted to sneak in here to see me fresh out of the shower, no? He raises a brow, as I glance up and almost swoon at the sight of him again. I've never felt this hot and bothered about a man in my whole life. What is he seriously doing to me? And no, I promise. I came to apologize. I freaked out and was rude to you. I'm sorry, Alpha. I conclude, forcing myself to look up at him as I speak to show that I was sincere with my words. He pauses to drink it in, his eyes holding a mischievously dark glint in them which only enhanced my nerves. Say it again. His words shock me, as my jaw drops at the request. He wouldn't make me? Would he? What? I splutter, my cheeks being set alight with the ask. I want to hear you say it again, the last part. He pushes, before deciding to make his first move as he slowly approaches me, his steps agonizing and his loose towel threatening to slip with each step. Oh Lord. I'm sorry? I say in a panicked whisper, my words sounding questioning as they escape. You're sorry what? He pushes, stopping just inches from me as I am forced to stare at his rock-hard chest. I'm sorry, Alpha? I test, watching a smirk paint itself across his face, before his hand shoots up to grab my face, squishing my cheeks ever so slightly.